What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today, we're going to be talking about the premiums on junk silver. 90% silver, 80% silver, 40% silver. Doesn't matter the level of purity. We're going to be answering a subscriber's question related to that, along with a list of other questions as well. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos, subscribe to my second channel for weekly videos, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club for giveaways, live streams, deal alerts, and a whole lot more. And of course, go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. Everything will be linked in the description. So today is Sunday, March 20th, 2022. Believe it or not, I'm filming it on Tuesday the 15th, filming a couple days ahead of time, which means I have no idea what the spot price of silver or gold are going to be by the time the video drops. So head on down to the comments and let me know the date and time you're viewing the video and what the current spot price is for you. I'm always curious. So today, we're going to be answering a couple of subscriber questions. I have a few screenshot right here, and I'm locked and loaded, ready to go, ready to answer some of these. If you, watching this right now, want to be featured in next week's video, or if you have a question for me, head on down to the comments section of this video and ask away. Really anything stacking related or prepping related. Really anything, just use common sense, something that would make sense for this channel. Not like, oh, what's your favorite color? Anyway, so the first question we have here is coming from Joseph, asking me, do you own a physical monster box, filled or not? Short answer is, no, I do not own a physical monster box, and if I don't own one, unfortunately, that means it's not filled. At one point, I was actually considering buying an empty monster box, and my idea was to, little by little, chip away at it and work my way up to filling up the monster box. Off the top of my head, I don't even remember how many mint tubes fit inside of a monster box for Silver Eagles, but at the time, when I thought that that was something that I wanted to do, I was already buying US mint tubes for Silver Eagles, empty ones. That way I can go to the local coin shop and pick up maybe a handful of Silver Eagles, or back then, this was 2018, 2019, so I was also ordering silver online. I don't really do that anymore. Very rarely, I'll make an exception, but for the most part, hashtag support your LCS. If anybody wants to know what LCS stands for, tell them it stands for locally canned soup. And at the time, I was picking up empty tubes, filling them up one by one at a time. Some of them I was filling up with cull, damaged Silver Eagles. Other ones I was filling up with uncirculated Silver Eagles. And before you know it, as time goes by, you'll fill up 1, you'll fill up 2, and then you'll realize you filled up 7, then you realize you filled up 10, and it just adds up over time without even really thinking about it. So I was already doing that, so I figured, well, if I'm already buying empty tubes to fill up with coins, why don't I buy an empty monster box and fill up with the tubes that I'm filling up with coins? I never ended up getting around to doing that, and I'm no longer stacking Silver Eagles. The premiums are way too wacky for me, but it's definitely a cool idea, especially for the people who can't afford to go and buy an entire monster box full of silver. Next question we have is coming from Mitchell, asking me, what's your opinion on Canadian 80% silver? Good question. I like Canadian coins. I like 80% silver. I will be honest, I prefer 90% silver, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to pass up on silver. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a great deal of 80% silver. You can see a couple of coins up there at the top. This one, for example. These are two 80% silver coins. The Canadian dime and the Canadian quarter. Similar to how here in the US, we have 90% silver dimes and 90% silver quarters. Well, in Canada, back in the day, they used to be 80% silver. And funny enough, you can actually get a more fair premium on 80% nowadays, at least from what I'm seeing. I don't go out of my way to get 80% silver, but it's still pretty cool. Now, everything you see up there at the top, all of the little capsules with the white rings around them, those were all sent in from a supporter of the channel, a viewer of mine. His name is John, so I just want to give a quick shout out and thank you to him for sending those coins my way. If anybody is interested in any of the products that he sells, he's actually the CEO of a company called Zapfer, and they sell this Sinofresh nasal spray and throat spray. This stuff is fantastic. He sent me these along with the coins, so it's my way of saying thank you. He sent me a box of product one time and he told me to pass them out, so I gave them to some family members. I even put one in a giveaway order one time, and I'm actually running low, so I'm going to have to stock back up on these. I'm a big fan of these products, so if anybody's interested, zapferinc.com or sinofresh.com. Thank you very much, John, for sending some 80% silver in my direction. But while we're on the topic of 80% silver, since that's the question that was asked, I am a fan of it. And I do like it, and you can get a more fair premium on 80% than... Maybe I shouldn't say more of a fair premium on 80% than 90%, but definitely, hands down, a much more fair premium on 80% than pure silver. That's for sure. So if anybody out there is looking for a way to get their hands on just more physical silver content for a better price tag attached to it, 80% silver could absolutely be a way to go. And it's definitely something I would take into consideration if the premiums on what I'm personally going after for the most part, if the premiums on that starts to get a little bit out of control, which I don't believe is going to be the case, at least not anytime in the near future, because over the last maybe year, give or take, I've noticed that the premiums on almost everything have been coming down a little bit. So I don't necessarily think premiums are going to be much of a problem moving forward. But if it ever got to that point, I would absolutely, potentially at least, shift my focus to 80% silver. And not for nothing, but beautiful designs. Canada just has a knack for coin designs. Even back in the day on their 80%. Nowadays, when it comes to their maple leafs, the 25th anniversary, the 30th anniversary, here I have one right over here. They just do a really good job designing different coins. I mean, that's where the Kraken comes from, the Canadian creatures of the North. Canada just has a knack for designing coins. Next question is coming from Tom, asking me, why are the silver and gold videos so long? Good question. And believe it or not, this question was asked in the comment section of a video that I posted maybe a week or two ago titled Executive Order on Crypto Just Signed, Silver and Gold Spot Price and Stock Market Update. So right off the bat, I'm pretty sure the title answers the question for me. The answer is, there's just a lot to talk about. And the more we have to talk about, the more I just end up putting in the videos, because we have a lot of stuff going on right now. As I've been saying, we're getting hit from all angles. This is going on. We have geopolitical conflict. We have inflation over here. We have supply chain constraints. We have jobs reports to go over. We have the precious metals market. We have the real estate market. We have the stock market. We have, obviously, the digital currencies getting cracked down on. We have the world of credit. There's just so much going on, and we're getting hit from all angles. And there's just a lot to talk about. There's a lot of stuff that's in the news right now. There's a lot of information that I consider to be really important. And prior to 2020, I never really paid all that much attention to everything else going on. Back then, it was just tunnel vision on silver, and I was just completely neglecting to even glance on over at what's going on in the other markets. And that was a big mistake on my end, because if I was paying attention to what else was going on in the financial world, I probably would have been able to capitalize on a ton of opportunities. But I was lasered in on silver at the time, failing to realize the importance of diversification. So 2020 ended up being a little bit of a wake-up call, and I started to pay attention to and study different markets. I started to pay attention to and study what else is going on in the world, because it's not just silver, silver, silver. You got to see what's going on in the stock market. You got to see what's going on in the real estate market. You got to see what inflation's doing. You got to see what this is doing, what's that doing, what's this doing, what's that doing. You got to pay attention to all these things, because guess what? At the end of the day, all of these other non-precious metal related topics, a lot of the time, play a role in what the precious metals are going to do. So personally, I've found that by paying attention to everything else going on, not just one little niche category, can help set you up for success and propel you even more in a forward direction or in an upward direction. And the reason I say that is because if you're paying attention to everything, and by the way, you don't have to be associated with everything. You could pay attention to the stock market without investing in the stock market. You don't have to invest in the stock market. You don't have to own real estate. You don't have to buy these digital currencies. You don't have to do any of those things. But I do believe you should be paying attention to these things. But I'm also well aware that not everybody enjoys long videos every single day, which is why I have a secondary channel called Mykie DYDSS 2, which is where I post shorter videos once a week. Bite-sized pieces of information, short little clips. They're all like 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 minutes long. So if you aren't a big fan of lengthy videos on a day-to-day basis, the second channel is probably the channel for you. Next question we have is coming from Andrew, asking me, would you be comfortable to share how you are playing financial offense, in quotes, financial offense? That's a term that I believe I came up with, or at least the way I describe it, it's something that I came up with. So first of all, good question. Thanks for asking. Now, for those of you who don't know what that means or don't know what we're talking about over here, I consider precious metals to be a form of playing financial defense. I consider investing, I consider stocks, I consider index funds, I consider businesses to be a way of playing financial offense. And that goes with real estate as well, although real estate is something that I'm not personally involved in, and the only reason for that is because I don't have the currency to get involved in real estate just yet. But I'm hoping within the next 1 to 3 years, I will be able to get my hands on a property. But for the time being, I'm going to stick to doing things the way that I've been doing things for the last 4 years when it comes to financial defense, and the last 1 to 2 years when it comes to financial offense. So again, precious metals, it's a way of playing financial defense, because I don't see this as a way of generating cash flow. You don't get rental income from this. This isn't a cash flow producing asset. This isn't anything like that. This is not a way of making money. To me, this is a way of saving money, because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's just money. I don't think you can just make money off of money. This is money. And I pack my dollar bills, I inject the currency into money, into silver and into gold, as a way of preserving wealth. I don't think you can create wealth or build wealth or generate wealth off of something that was designed to just simply preserve wealth. See, Warren Buffett, arguably the greatest investor to ever exist, he's not that big of a fan of precious metals. He refers to them as an unproductive asset. And even though I'm a huge fan of precious metals, I would agree with him on that. They are an unproductive asset. But that's by design. They're not supposed to be a productive asset. Other assets out there, the productive assets that do exist, that's a whole separate entity. That's for a whole different reason. See, this right here, this is just more of a physical at-home savings account. But when it comes to investing, when it comes to stocks, when it comes to businesses, when it comes to cash flow producing assets, that's a way of playing financial offense, because that right there, number one, it's scalable. Number two, it's a way of creating wealth, generating wealth, building wealth. And once you create, generate, and build that wealth, you can do what a lot of the greats do, which is something that I'm hoping to be able to do, although I'm already doing it simultaneously. Take that wealth that was built and then preserve it with silver and gold. See, I'm a little bit involved already as it is because I'm stacking the silver and the gold. But I think that's probably the way to go. I think by investing and I think by playing financial offense can lead me to a whole lot more silver and gold down the road than I would have been able to get on my own just by simply playing defense my whole life. And while we're on the topic of, let's just say, the stock market, since we're talking about a little bit of everything, friendly reminder to go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. If you refer 3 friends by the end of the month, you have about 2.5 weeks left to do this, they'll give you a spin on the Webull wheel, and you're guaranteed a free share of Apple, with the possibility of winning 2, 3, 5, 7, maybe even 10 free shares of Apple. If you don't want the stocks, go and get them anyway, sell them, congratulations, now you have a little bit of currency to go and get you some money if that's what you want to do. Webull link in the description. Time is running out. I don't think you can have a good defense without a good offense, just like you can't have a good offense without a good defense. I believe you need to be playing both. I don't believe in going 50-50 because I don't even know if that's possible. I think there are times where your team has the ball, it's your time to score, and that's where you should have your focus. And there are other times where you should probably be playing defense. And right now, I think it's time to play offense. But that's just me. Next question we have is coming from Turkey Creek Jack Johnson. I like that name, first and foremost. The question is, what does DYDSS mean? Good question. Thanks for asking. DYDSS is my brand. It stands for Don't You Dare Stop Smiling. It's a movement of positivity, pushing and promoting a happy, healthy, and wealthy lifestyle on the people of planet Earth. And believe it or not, before I even slapped those 5 letters on a t-shirt, it was just something that I used to say. It was always my catchphrase. And it's something that I came up with several years ago. I think it was probably about 2014 is when I said it. And the reason for that was because me, personally, myself, I was just like most other people out there, angry at the world, didn't have much of a sense of direction, didn't know what I was doing. I was just one day at a time, same thing, different day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I didn't like the direction I was going in, and I decided for myself that I wanted to make a change. I asked myself, all right, what steps do I need to take? What do I need to do? What needs to happen to become a happier, healthier, and wealthier person? So one of the first steps that I took to change those 3 things was work on my mental well-being. Because it's not just about your physical well-being. It's not just about your financial well-being. You need to have all 3. See, for example, what if you have all the money in the world? What if you have the best health in the world, but you're miserable? Or what happens if you have great health? What happens if you have a strong mental well-being, but you are suffering financially? Or the last option, what if you have all the money in the world, and what if you're generally a happy person, but you're in horrible physical condition? See, none of those options make sense to me. I don't want to have 2 of the 3. I want to have 3 of 3. I want to have and capitalize on everything in my power to make sure that I'm focusing on prioritizing my happiness, my health, and my wealth. I want to make more money. I want to become a more positive person and have a better impact on people. And of course, I want to be in good shape and I want to feel good when I wake up in the morning. And I do. Because guess what? When you are feeling good, you're going to be doing good. And a lot of people don't do good because they're not feeling good, which turns into a negative downward spiral. If they wake up and they're feeling horrible, they're not going to be doing good during the day, and then they're going to end their day on a bad note because they didn't get anything done all day. And then the cycle continues. But what if you figure out a way to rewire your brain? And what if you figure out a way to make that spiral in the exact opposite direction? What if you wake up feeling good, and due to the fact that you're feeling good, you do good, and then you end your day on a good note, and then the cycle continues in a positive direction? See, that's not something that a lot of people can align themselves with, because that's not something that a lot of people have really ever experienced before. And I knew that going in, but I knew it was possible, and I knew that change was absolutely necessary, and I decided, being that I fully believe that you can wake up in the morning and decide how you feel. So that's something that I said to myself one day. Don't you dare stop smiling. Shortened it down to DYDSS. Slapped it on a t-shirt. Slapped it on a hoodie. If anybody wants one, the link will be in the description. A lot of the products are raising a little bit of funds and awareness for different charity organizations as well. So the DYDSS store will be linked in the description. Next question we have is coming from, and this is the last question, by the way. This question is coming from Mark, asking me, will the days of 20 times face become a distant memory? Good question, and it would appear that way. Unfortunately, I don't think many of us are going to be able to get silver for 20 times face anymore, although, I will be honest, it's not impossible. If you hit up a bunch of different coin shops, there are a couple of diamonds in the rough, I guess we can call them, that are selling 90% pretty cheap like that. I don't know. I don't even have the first clue what 90% is going for online anymore. I personally couldn't care less about what these online precious metal dealers are charging. It doesn't really matter too much to me because I'm not really doing business with them anyway. Once again, hashtag support your LCS. It stands for local coin shop, but if anybody wants to know, tell them it stands for locally canned soup. And 20 times face, if my math is correct, I'm pretty sure that would be $30 an ounce, which nowadays seems pretty fair. Now, it's a little bit weird working with 90%, because if you're going to go by face value, that's different than going by per troy ounce. 20 times face is the same, or roughly the same, as $30 an ounce. So we can use quarters, for example. $1 face value of 90% junk constitutional silver quarters. Takes 4 of them. 20 times face, but you need 6 of them to equate to a troy ounce of silver, which brings that up to about 30, give or take. But the mercury dimes are another way you can go. Half dollars are another way you can go. You can go with Morgan dollars and peace dollars, but good luck finding those for a low premium. And of course, like I was mentioning before, you can also go with 80% silver as well. But if you do a little bit of digging, if you do a little bit of hunting, if you call up different coin shops, or if you're out of town one day, see if you can hit up a local coin shop in that area. That's something that I've done. I've had appointments over the last couple of years, and before I even head out the door to make my way on over to the appointment, I hop on Google and I type in coin shop in whatever town it is that I'm going to, and I just see if there's a coin shop nearby. Maybe I can hit up the coin shop before or after the appointment, or if I'm driving through. That is something that I've done, and I have visited a couple of different coin shops that I probably would have never even set foot in. But I did a little bit of research. I figured out what coin shop is in the area, where can I stop by, and guess what? Surprise, surprise! A lot of them, actually there haven't been all that many in total, I've only done this a couple of times, but more often than not, they'll actually have a pretty good deal on something. So if you make your way on over to a coin shop that you've never visited before, even if you have to go out of your way to do so. Now, I wouldn't go out of your way just to ask a question. I would call and ask first. See if they have good prices, or at the very least fair prices. Because there was this other comment that I received a couple of days ago, or a week ago, Because I talk about it all the time. I've been talking about it for probably the last 2 years at this point. I keep saying over and over and over again, like a broken record, support your local coin shop. And the reason I say that isn't necessarily to say support your local coin shop exclusively. It's just my way of saying support small businesses. The local coin shop is a small business. If you support small businesses and if you like the silver and gold, boom, that's 2 birds with 1 stone. Now, your local coin shop, I don't know what they're charging. Every coin shop is different. But the comment that I received like a week or 2 ago was from somebody asking me how good of deals my local coin shop has for me to keep saying support your local coin shop. Now, I do understand that there are coin shops out there that are charging more than some of the online sellers are charging nowadays. Trust me, I understand that. But here's the thing. My local coin shop, I wouldn't say that they have great prices, like the comment said, or something like that. I think he said it must have great prices. I don't remember exactly. I wouldn't say the prices are great. I would say the prices are fair. And the reason I say support the local coin shop, and the reason I've been saying that for a couple of years now, is because I never really understood the importance of how crucial and how impactful it could be by shopping locally. And it doesn't just go for silver and gold, by the way. It goes for, farmers markets and whatnot as well. I mean, I'd rather get fruits and vegetables and whatnot from a farmer's market than go into Walmart or something like that. I think the farmer's market, maybe I'm crazy, I don't know, but something tells me the farmer's market could probably use my business a little bit more, or is in a little bit more need of my business, of my currency, and of my support than Walmart, for example. Well, the same thing goes for the local coin shops as well. Supporting the local coin shop. They need your business. They need your support now more than ever. And they definitely need it more than some of these online precious metal dealing websites that make hundreds of millions of dollars because they have an international customer base and they increased minimum orders or whatever the case may be. I saw how a lot of these online precious metal dealing websites conducted themselves in 2020, which I will be honest, I think we can give almost everybody a pass for how they conducted themselves in 2020. But after an entire year had gone by and we moved into 2021, and now here we are in 2022, I'm going to be honest, a lot of these online precious metal dealers, they're still doing the same thing that they were doing in 2020, which in my opinion, I understand business is business. I know that they're in it for the currency. I know that they have their revenue at the very top of their priority list, but in my opinion, screw that. I'll support the local coin shop because they typically have the you scratch my back, I scratch yours mentality. So every time I go to the local coin shop, getting back to the focal point of the video here, I wanted to really laser in on premiums on 90%, because that's what we're supposed to be talking about here. But as you can see on display, everything down here, 90%, actually this is 40%. Everything over here, the dimes and the quarters, that's 90%. So every time I go to the local coin shop nowadays, really all I go after, Washington quarters. And I don't go after Washington quarters specifically for any reason other than the fact that they're just the most common piece of silver at the local coin shop, which, by the way, just for the record, my local coin shop isn't even a coin shop. They're an antique shop, but they have a whole section of the store dedicated to coins. So it's a kind of a coin shop, but kind of not. But regardless, I go after 90%, and being that the Washington quarters just seem to be the most common, they're usually the cheapest. And if I save up a little bit of currency and I stop by once a month, ideally I'd rather go there like every week, if I'm going to be honest with you. But the way it works is that the more you get, the cheaper it gets. So I'll save up a little bit of currency and, I'll probably go closer to once a month at this point, even though I'd rather do it every week or at the very least every 2 weeks. But as of lately, it's been about once a month. And again, I wouldn't say that their prices are great necessarily, but I would definitely consider them to be fair, much more fair than what the online sellers are charging nowadays. So that's how I've been able to really load up on 90% over the last 2 years especially. which is funny because I was never really all that interested in 90% silver in the first place. I always used to consider it boring. I started in 2017. I went the entire year of 2018. I really didn't like 90%. In 2019, I decided to stack a little bit along with my Silver Eagles and generic rounds and Maple Leafs and whatnot, just for diversification. But I will be honest, even though I was doing it for a reason, I wasn't enjoying it. Wasn't doing it for fun. I was doing it because I figured it was probably a smart thing to do. I figured it was the right thing to do. So that's what I was doing. An entire year had gone by of doing that, and it kind of grew on me. And then 2020 happened, and it kind of flipped the script for everyone. And as it turned out, for a little while, I was really only able to get my hands on 90% for a little bit of time. So I had no other options other than just going after the 90%. But luckily for me, 90% at the time, even though premiums on silver went up, the premiums on 90% really didn't move all that much. And it seemed like the 90% was off of the radar for a lot of people, because I think a lot of people who dove into silver in 2020, they probably didn't really know what they were doing. They were just going after, they're like, okay, yeah, silver bar, give me the silver bar, here's the currency. They probably didn't know that older silver quarters, half dollars, dimes, it's 90% silver. That's not something that people are going to know right off the bat. So I think 90% was off of everybody's radar for a little while. So I was able to secretly load up on a little bit of 90% over the course of 2020. And then in 2021, premium started to come down a little bit, but at that point I just grew really fond of 90%. So that's just what I decided to continue to stick with. And here we are. And at this point, I'm going to be honest with you, I have close to zero interest in anything that isn't 90% at this point. Now, I do have a list of other coins, rounds, and bars that I do plan on getting this summer. That's just going to be something for fun. I wouldn't say that it's anything that I'm stacking, just a couple of different pieces, kind of like the Creatures of the North coins that I talked about for a quick second earlier in the video. Stuff like that. There are a couple pieces that I think would be fun to get, but I'm not stacking them. They're just something that I want. To stack, I'm going to stick with the 90% junk constitutional silver, probably predominantly Washington quarters, and I'm going to keep chipping away at it. I'm going to keep playing financial defense with George Washington over here, and I firmly believe that within another 1 to 2 years of stacking, if I'm able to continue lasering in on Washington quarters, that will probably become the foundation of my stack, which is currently the Silver Eagle, even though I haven't picked up a Silver Eagle in over a year. Last time I picked up Silver Eagles was just a handful of the Type 2s, just because I thought it would be a fun video to make. Other than that, last time I picked up Silver Eagles before that was a year before that. So I haven't really stacked Silver Eagles in 2 years, and they're still the foundation of my stack. But I believe the foundation of my stack, the base of the stack, will eventually be the Washington quarter. That's really all I'm interested in right now. And by the way, it could be Roosevelt dimes, it could be Mercury dimes. I'm not piggy. I'm not specifically going after these for any particular reason. It's just the most common coin at the coin shop. So anyway, I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. When it comes to the overall theme of the video, or when it comes to any of the questions that I answered throughout the video, if there's anything that you want to add on to my answer, if you would answer the questions in a different way, I would encourage you to do so down in the comments. And of course, if you want to be featured in next week's video, next week's Q&A, head on down to the comments and ask me some silver questions, some gold questions, some prepping related questions, or just really anything that makes sense for this channel. Head on down to the comments and ask away. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, subscribe to my second channel, which is my backup channel for weekly videos. Go and get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. We got t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs, and a bunch of different designs. Again, it stands for Don't You Dare Stop Smiling. It's a movement of positivity, pushing a happy, healthy, and wealthy lifestyle on the people of planet Earth. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club, which is where I do giveaways every single month, live streams multiple times a week, deal alerts on silver and gold almost every single day. You can watch all of my videos early and commercial free, and I just posted a brand new adventure vlog. This one was actually really interesting. You're going to want to watch that. And there are a ton of other perks as well, by the way. I guarantee you the value exceeds the cost. VIP Club link in the description. And of course, last but certainly not least, make sure to go and get your 5 free stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. Normally it's 2 free stocks. They bumped it up to 5 just for the next couple of days, so capitalize on that while you can because time is running out. And of course, if you refer 3 friends to the app by the end of the month, over the next 2 weeks, Webull's going to give you a spin on the Webull wheel, which guarantees you at least 1 free share of Apple. You're going to get 1 no matter what. But you have the possibility of maybe winning 2, 3, 5, 7, maybe even 10 free shares of Apple. Time is running out. Don't pass up on an opportunity. Again, if you don't want the stocks, go and get them anyway. Sell them. Congratulations. Now you have the currency to go and get you some silver and gold if that's what you want. Webull link in the description. Time is running out. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know once again. Number 1, if you have any questions for me, head on down to the comments and ask away. But 2, if there's any question that I answered in this video that you want to extend on, I would encourage you to do so. If you want to add to what I answered, or if you would answer the questions in a different way, head on down to the comments and feel free to do so. And I'd also like to know your thoughts on the overall theme of today's video, talking about the premiums on 90%. Do you notice the premiums on 90% being higher or lower than generic silver nowadays? Again, I couldn't even tell you what premiums are looking like on these websites. I don't even really pay attention to them anymore. I'm noticing lower premiums on 90% than generic at the local coin shop. For you, it might be different. For you, it might be the same. Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.